What's going on? In the shop today we got a 2005 Polaris 700 fuel injection. It's been sat for about a year and a half, he said, because last time he rode it the exhaust got really loud, and so he just parked it, just sat there forever, whatever, and now it just needs to, he's going to take it hunting within like I think a month or so, and he wants it fixed back up. So he brought it to me. It is loud. I mean, what happened was that the exhaust, I guess, kind of looks like it has been repaired before. You can see right there, and it was shaved down. And I believe the guy that maybe put back on there or whatnot didn't tighten up the bolts maybe exactly, or just not enough. And so the exhaust gasket ended up blowing out. And that was left of what I found in the floorboard. And then so when it backed off, the other two bolts backed out, and just his two center bolts stayed there. So I got him a new gasket, new bolts, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw on the new cast aluminum reed valve here, because in that he's got kind of oil all over the place and everything. So this thing is super clean though. It's got what, 470 hours on it, but it's gonna get a full service. And what I use to service it is I run the Shell Rotella T6. It's the 540 because on cold startup you want it to be thin oil, and then yeah, it just changes with that. But this is the only way. A T6 is only 5W4 to get that. And I love the Purator or oil filters. That is the part number for the Polaris. Pretty much all Polaris is going to run that one. They're the little bit wider or longer than the standard Polaris filter, and it's just, this is a perfect combo here. I don't really care for the wicks or the definitely Fram, anything like that, Canon. It's just everything that I've seen. Purator's is a great filter, and definitely just run that oil and just be done with it. Got a new battery in there. New battery. For some reason though, I think his antifreeze is very low, so we're gonna be checking that. I mean, look how clean this thing is for being an 05. I didn't even know these things came silver. All mine are brown. So that's where we're going with this thing. Well, I guess Purator changed up the filter on the classics, because now they're just solid red instead of white. I love how simple these Rangers are to work on. After working on my brother-in-law's there, and like even this one, it might be my next buy. I doubt it though. I love the idea of them. I love being able to carry everything, because I carry a lot, but they're just really not that comfortable. But they're so easy to work on. And also from this point here, you can see that the header is gone. I mean, just gotta clean that up, put on his new gasket whenever it comes in, and we'll be set. Then after you blow out your spark plug holes, you already obviously got these loosened out. Change these out. These are Champions in here, which are probably stock plugs since who knows how old, so I'm going to replace those. I always replace all my plugs with NGK. It's kind of an old school thing. I mean, that's all everyone used to run. They actually used to say NGK as a performance upgrade. And they actually kind of used to sell an NGK spark plug as a performance upgrade. Not saying that it does, not saying it will, but it is a good quality spark plug. Simple as that. Pretty bad lighting underneath here for now, but until I close the shop. I'm checking his air box. Air filter looks pretty much brand new. No signs of dirt getting in anywhere past anywhere. Just a little bit there from the normal oil, but down in the actual throttle body looks pretty good and clean. It's good. Let's see how the oil looks. It looks completely empty, and that's good because I drained it and there's nothing in there. Let's see what the radiator looks like. Ooh. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that is completely empty, and I did not drain that. Wow, there's nothing in there. Alright, so looks like we'll be topping off some antifreeze and maybe seeing where it's leaking from. And as far as antifreeze, what I run is the Peak 50/50 long life. This is obviously to what they, according to all the forums and everything, this is the best brand for the Polaris because it's got kind of the same additives or whatnot. I guess it's the same compared to the Polaris, or the closest to, and it's cheap. So that's what I run as far as antifreeze. Old plugs and new plugs got the MGKRs. Not sure if, I don't think these are bad, but it's just part of the service. Got some more antifreeze that's topped off. The overflow now has something at least in it. So that's done. Put the spark plugs in, got the oil in. But the thing with, you gotta wait to check it because the oil tube there gets so much oil caught up into it that it gives a false read whenever you put the stick in there. So I'm gonna let that settle and drain down, check the oil level. And it'll be ready. Well, I still gotta wait for the gasket, but that'll be coming. So I'm draining the front differential right now, and they got to take off that whole side cover right there to get to the fill plug. And before I go with that, I guess in this is an 06, and I guess they used the plastic, or the guy before him used plastic. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to double check up on that. But that probably can't see it, but there's a right there. There's a fill plug. I cannot get that out. That's 5/16 Allen, and that's the only way you can get that in there with that radiator hose. So I cannot bust that loose with that. I mean, it's probably never been taken off. But I'm just gonna add. It takes 5 fluid ounces, so I'm just gonna put it through the vent line, through the vent line there. Obviously, I'm gonna use my handy syringe that I have. Parts to finish up the Ranger finally showed up. A little upgrade that I always like to do on the older models of Polarises with the plastic housing coming out of the breather for the crankcase is always adapt it to the newer style with the cast aluminum fitting on there. And there are your part numbers. I did get the gasket with it because even though it's got a little O-ring around here, just the new ones come with it, so that's what I put on there. The old ones do warp and they leak oil like this one is. And altogether, this is less than like $5. So I got the new gasket, the new bolts, and the new breather. You know, I never actually thought about it, but Polaris is pretty nice because this valve right here, it's going to open up that way with positive pressure in the engine, forcing air out. And so, if you do happen to sink a Polaris and water gets in through your crankcase vent, which is not something to do with this kind of video, but just something worth to mention, water's going to get in here, and hopefully this little valve might stay closed enough to keep some stuff out, water out. But if it does, then you can actually pull the line, get the water out from the top of this, and then just worry about kind of what's getting in through your cylinders and piston. Pretty nice. Didn't think about that. Alright, so got it all buttoned up, and that is where I'm going to leave this one. He will be picking it up in the morning. So, just a little recap, just got some antifreeze in there, changed all the fluids, running the Rotella, the Purolator oil filter. Air filter looked good, everything is greased. I do have his new exhaust gasket manifold on. I know Stark down there, sorry. His new breather and aluminum there, so now none of his oil will be, I mean, this engine's spotless. I wiped down this spot, so the whole motor will look like this once this thing stops spewing oil all over it. New spark plugs. Just went over the whole thing. This thing is solid. I mean, solid for a 2006 Ranger, which most of the Rangers that you do keep out of the mud and just use it for what it was built for will do. I tried to clean up his headlights a little bit. They were oxidized quite a bit. Just gave it a quick wet sounding and a buff. So like I said, everything runs great. I would start it up and ride around for you guys, but it is late. And once again, I got a little kid inside. So this is where I'm going to leave it for tonight, just so I can get this video up. But the thing does run, sounds great. I mean, it's a great sounding motor for its age and everything. This thing has been well kept. So either well kept or it's just been sitting for a while. But yeah, Project Ranger is done. Appreciate it for watching, and subscribe, share, and whatever you guys do on YouTube.